We got breaking news. The 49ers have made a trade to at least bolster their pass rush. They have acquired defensive end Keion White from the New England Patriots. So Keion White is now a 49er, and the Niners drop from the 6th round to the 7th round next year in order to acquire him. The Patriots will get a 2026 6th round pick in exchange for a 2026 7th round pick and defensive end Keion White, who had tallied 5 sacks last season.
And he's a former 2nd round pick for New England. And last year, as you mentioned, he had a much bigger year. Just looking at the depth chart listed online, he's a 3rd stringer for the Patriots. He hasn't played a ton. He's played 40% of defensive snaps. He is a guy who could play some special teams. You look at what he's done with New England, basically a 3rd down kind of pass rush specialist, but that's one thing that they need. So you give up a 6th, you get back a 7th, and a player, a rotational player. So, all right, Keion, go ahead and stay back east. We'll see you on Sunday.
Exactly.
Go ahead and slap on a new uni and get out there and get after the quarterback.
At this point, it's a body. Like, right. I hate to say it that way, but at this point, it's a body. It's somebody that you can plug in and maybe go get Jackson Dart once, twice. I don't even know if he'll play this week. I assume he would. But that's the 49ers right now. Again, I know there are a lot of different aspects of a football game that you can talk about whenever you come out of it. And when it was a frustrating loss, we'll talk about a lot of things. But for me, the biggest alarm that I've seen go off all year is that whoever was trying to rush the passer against the Texans could not do so against what I think is the worst offensive line in the entire league. They are horrible. They are invisible. They are clouds because you can run right through them. And they completely stopped the Niner pass rush. Totally stopped it. They've done that to no one so far this year.
It's been a struggle, and now you add a player, and I'm just looking at some of the reports from the New England area. He was a healthy and active last weekend, and the reports are he's been having trouble getting out there and beating tackles off the edge. Last year, he played 74% of snaps for New England. This year, he clearly has fallen out of favor. He fell down the depth chart, and that's basically what the price is. You give us a 6th, we're going to throw you a 7th back, and you can have our guy, the guy who we're not actually even really interested in playing right now. So for the Patriots, you move up from you move up from whatever in the 6th round or in the 7th to the 6th. You probably move up 30 spots, and you give up a 7th, and you give up a player. And so, a player that you probably weren't going to use anyway, and the Niners have a body.
Yep, I'll read it like this, too, because it also fits the mold of what they've been talking about. He is not a free agent at the end of the year. He has another year of team control. Keion White under control for a very small number, $2.4 million next year, and then he becomes an unrestricted free agent at the end of the 2026 season. The other thing is it does not fit the mold of what a normal purchase would be at the trade deadline because the Patriots are contender also. The Patriots are not selling off. It's like what you just said. They're opportunistically getting rid of somebody to move up in the draft who they don't use. And the 49ers could use that extra body right now. If the Niners are to make a more significant acquisition, those are going to come more toward the end of deadline week because those sellers, like the New York Giants, like the Miami Dolphins, the New Orleans Saints, those teams right now, I would imagine, are taking the multiple offers that are coming their way from all of the contending teams, and they're going to leverage that to get the absolute best offer, and you do that by waiting until the end. So I think this is acquisition one. The 49ers are going to do what they can with the bodies they have to try to win a game and go to 6-3, and if they do that, I think maybe they make a little bit more significant, still not a banger, but a little bit more significant of a move after this football game right up against the deadline. That'd be my guess.
I think that even if they lose, they would still be in the same space, maybe even at 5-4, because this conference, as we've talked about, is not running away from you for the most part. And so 5-4, you're still in the mix. You're more motivated. I think you're right if you do get to 6-3. But for now, you bring in Keion White, a guy who's got 3 years now. It's his third year of pro ball. So you throw another youngster into the mix in an already pretty young defense. But right now, you need bodies. You need people who can just get in there and play defense. And like you said, rushing the passer against Houston, something that you probably should have been able to do, but they were unpressured. CJ Stroud sat back there like it was flag football and picked you apart.
Yeah. That to me was a huge red flag. And you're right. Even if they lose, they're 5-4, and at worst, they would be a half game out of the last playoff spot. I know it's a little early to start talking about playoff positioning, but 5-4 is not going to be preventative for the Niners. And, then that's the deadline on Tuesday, and then you come home for the Rams. And as we talked about earlier in the year, those games against the division teams, to me, those are worth at least a game and a half. And the Niners still have all of that in their hip pocket. They are 3-0 in the division. But if they win this one and get yet another conference victory, they would go to 6-1 in the conference. They would stay at 3-0 in the division. That's a pretty good spot to be. Even with all the stuff that we've experienced, that's a pretty good spot to be. And I think that they would owe it to this team to make at least a mid-range move. And who knows, with them playing the Giants this week, it really might be someone from the Giants. I mean, this does allow the Niners and Giants front offices to get together directly and have a conversation while they're watching the game play in front of them. They can do that.
You can, and you also can look at other teams' practice squads, and I know that they lost a guy off their squad earlier this week, the 49ers did, so you can always go out there and kind of dumpster dive off other teams' practice squad to bring in additional bodies. Obviously, you valued Keion White more than somebody else's practice squad cast off, and so you plug him in, and just looking at the defense, Elliott, Okawonu, Winters, Huff, Gross-Matos, all hurt, not to mention Bosa and Warner. So just actual bodies, human beings who are over 260 pounds who can tackle people.
I mean,
you need them.
Give me whoever you got.
Right.
And Grandy brings up a good point. The Jets are another real good target, maybe mid-range pass rush defense type guys that Robert Saleh probably knows because he drafted some of them, and they are on bye. And I'm told they also live in the area. So maybe John Lynch can go get some coffee with whoever is running the Jets and making those decisions. Do that on Saturday. On Sunday, you meet the Giants at the game. On Monday, you come home with a person or two who can go get Matt Stafford the following week. That's the plan.
Yeah.
Let's do it.